welcome to Diecast Restos, where today I'm focusing on this Matchbox Superfast 1G Dodge Challenger and showing you how to remove the yellowing from the white plastic roof. This particular example was sent in by longtime channel member Tony, and aside from the yellowing, needs a serious polish to the metal base and a general tidy up. You can always tell it's a casting sent in by a viewer when I've taped their name to the bottom to thank them now. Cheers, Tony. The Challenger came in two distinct versions, with this sort being available in the Superfast mainline between 1976 and 1981. Here's what I'm aiming to recreate today and how it should look. And this is a real 1974 Dodge Challenger that the casting is based on. When it joined the Matchbox Superfast line in 1976, the Challenger replaced the ungainly Mod Rod Fantasy piece. Up to 1981, the casting was always painted red, had a white plastic roof with a clear windscreen fitted, chrome interior that incorporated the hood scoops, and an unpainted metal base. For 1981 only, it was recoloured to light blue with a red plastic interior. It was otherwise identical. From 1982, it was altered slightly, gaining a large central cast hood scoop, but losing the plastic duo. The base was modified to give it a hot rod stance with a raised rear. The body was amended slightly at the wheel arches to allow for bigger wheels. It was also given side exit exhaust pipes. There are a lot of variations to this casting, which I'll go into in another edition when I tackle it. I will add that it did last an incredibly long time in the mainline though, through until 1998. With this lump of fluff taken out of the wheels, it's little wonder that Tony's car didn't roll at all well. It looks a bit like loft insulation to me. The casting is based on the 1970 to 1974 first generation Dodge Challenger. It was based on the Chrysler E platform and positioned to compete against the Mercury Cougar and Pontiac Firebird at the upper end of the pony car market. The Challenger was offered with almost every engine available at Chrysler's disposal, ranging from the 3.2 litre Slant 6 to the 7.2 litre RB V8. It came as either a hardtop or convertible. It was nearly identical to the slightly smaller Plymouth Barracuda, which, with the exception of the 1971 car, differed only at the front by having two headlights instead of the Challenger's four. By the time of its arrival, the pony car segment was already in decline. Sales fell dramatically after the 1970 model year. Little changed on the 1971 car, and 1972 offerings had options significantly cut back. They did receive a new grille, which was carried over to the 1973 and 74 cars. Sales did rise slightly for the 1973 model, which also had rearranged taillights. But it was pulled midway through the 1974 model year with a total of 165,437 built. Now here I need to be a bit inventive with polishing the base, as I wanted to reuse these wheels and they were firmly clamped into the base. I needed to protect them from the polish, so I covered them in tape, which looks a bit unusual here. Dodge revived the Challenger name in 1977 for a Mitsubishi Galant Lambda based captive import. This lasted until 1983. A third generation Challenger arrived in 2008, which incorporated many of the design cues from the 1970 original. This car has been the most successful Challenger generation, but it is due to be discontinued in 2023. So the basis of today's video is to be a bit of a guide on removing yellowing from plastics. This model was suffering badly from a yellowed roof and windscreen. I have in the past used hydrogen peroxide liquid and left the afflicted piece in a pot in the sun on a windowsill. I did have reasonable results from that method, but it was a little too slow for my liking. So while the painted body dries after receiving a coat or two of Tamiya TS8 Italian Red, which looks gorgeous and really suits the casting, I begin my new method. Here I have 40 volume 12% cream peroxide. I pour an amount of this across the connected roof and window pieces. This is laid on some cling film plastic wrap and is brushed across all surfaces. It is then wrapped up. Here I have an expertly modified plastic food container in which the wrapped plastic sits. I've purchased a USB powered UV LED light to speed up the unyellowing process. I leave this switched on for a few hours, so in the meantime I wash the wheels in Citadel Gloss Nuln Oil and clear coat the painted body. And here's how it now looks, with some footage from earlier insets for comparison. It's not done yet though. I'm still to polish it, and some of the discoloration may have been ground in dirt. I wasn't really sure whether I should UV then polish, or polish then UV. I'll try it the opposite way another time. But it proved that the Polywatch wasn't quite up to scratch in removing all the blemishes. So I turned to trusty old Autosol metal polish to do the hard graft. It came out looking great, and a final dunk in Astonish wood floor polish is all this piece needed. So here are all the pieces that make up the Challenger. Last to be completed but the first to be inserted is the roof section. There are a couple of little nubs inside the body that help position it. The interior piece follows, then the base comes after, which is secured with two 3mm M2 screws. So here's how Tony's donated Lesney Matchbox Superfast 1G Dodge Challenger appeared earlier. The roof became my main point of focus in this restoration, aiming to return it to a pure white. It otherwise needed a polish for the base metal, a re-chromed interior, fresh coat of red paint, and retrimmed wheels. Plus the wheels didn't turn well owing to a load of fluff caught up in the axles. So let's take a look at it now. The UV and polish combination has worked wonders on the white roof. The transparency looks better too. There's been a real improvement in the base plate, which included the grille and taillight sections. The interior has been re-chromed to original standards, plus that chrome has also been used to add the foil trim back onto the wheels. The Tamiya TS8 Italian red totally suits the car as well. Everything just came together very nicely on this Challenger. So if you enjoyed this restoration or picked up some UV related tips, please leave the video a like and leave a comment. If you'd like to support the channel, you can do so by signing up for YouTube memberships or via Patreon. And of course, don't forget to subscribe. So that's it for now. All that leaves me to say is thank you for watching, and I will see you again for the next one. Bye for now.